Today, let's look at an inexpensive alternative to our traditional windshield-mounted GPS navigation units. We are a long way from the days of MapQuest and buying maps at our local gas stations. That has been replaced by our traditional windshield-mounted GPS navigation units. And nowadays, we see more and more vehicles have built-in navigation units into them. What if you don't have a vehicle with the built-in navigation system? Then you'll be left to buy one of those traditional windshield-mounted GPS units. And while prices for these units have decreased over the years, I still think that they're a bit on the high side, with popular brands such as TomTom and Garmin ranging from about $100 up to $500 depending on the model that you get. The alternative I'm proposing is called sygic GPS navigation and is available for download from both the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. In the Google Play Store, there has been over 50 million downloads and over 1 million reviews, all averaging to 4.7 out of 5. I personally love sygic. It has a beautiful and easy to use interface. It has advanced navigation features. There are beautiful 3D renderings of buildings and an offline mode, which is particularly useful when traveling outside your home country. I personally own a Garmin GPS unit and I absolutely love my Garmin. It has been a lifesaver for me countless times over the years, and I travel with it everywhere I go. However, since sygic, I find myself using it less and less over the past few months. This comes down to two reasons really. One, in a recent road trip, I decided to use both sygic and Garmin so that I could compare and analyze the similarities and differences in the navigation options provided by both. I ended up starting to rely more heavily on the sygic as there were cases when the Garmin was adding 8 hours for some reason to the trip time. And before you ask, I did experiment in changing up the parameters in the Garmin, such as faster time, shorter distance, all that stuff, and the results were pretty much the same. So we've looked at the software that we need. Let's now look at the hardware that we require. First is the in-dash display. And from what we're seeing here, there are no navigation options available. Next, we need a USB port, which we can connect our mobile phone to the in-dash display unit. Next, we need a USB cable, with one end being USB and the other end being able to connect to your mobile device. In my case here, I'm using a USB Type-C. For my application, I'm using a 1 meter or roughly a 3 feet USB cable. Let's put everything together and set things up. Firstly, we're going to start the vehicle and ensure that the mobile phone is connected via Bluetooth. Then, you want to take the USB end of the cable and stick it into the USB port. Connect the other end, in this case the USB Type-C, to the mobile device. Once the mobile device is connected to the in-dash display unit, you will notice two arrows coming up on the right side of the screen. Select this option and you will notice that right away you see the sygic option available. Important to note, when setting up for the first time, the sygic application will not be available here. Instead, you have to hit Edit Apps. There you will find the sygic application and the option to add it to your active menu. Once added, You will now find the sygic application available right here once your mobile device is connected. Please ignore the sygic in-car application being displayed here. That is another application and is not required for what we are doing here. Launch the application. You will notice that once the hand or parking brake is released, then the following error is observed. It states, for safety, this function is not available while the vehicle is in motion. Notice, once the hand or parking brake is engaged, then you are able to view the screen without issue. The issue arises due to the perceived motion caused by the parking brake being down. To bypass this error, simultaneously hold the power, home, and eject buttons until a second menu option appears. Here, we want to select the detailed information and setting option. Now, we're going to hold the menu button for 3 seconds until another menu appears. In this menu, we want to select the vehicle model information option. Here, the DD-VSP error, we want to select that, and we want to set the DD-VSP error to off. Now return to the main menu by hitting the back button or the return button 5 times. And now we're back to our navigation screen. Having executed the override sequence, we see that now, regardless of whether the parking brake is up or down, we are able to view the screen without issue. So we are now free to drive around using our navigation application. However, there is one issue, and this occurs whenever you shut off the vehicle and start the vehicle a second time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Reconnect your mobile device via USB cable as before and open the sygic application. You will notice that the error is now back, and once the parking brake is down, you are not able to see the screen because of the error message that appears. So we need to repeat the process to set the DD-VSP error to off again. And that's one of the caveats of this process. You have to repeat this process each time the vehicle is turned off and you start again. This is not a big issue in my book. It almost equates to me having to physically mount my Garmin device before each trip to the windshield. That being said, I would still love to know a permanent way to set the DD-VSP error to off. So if anybody out there knows how this is done, please let me know in the comment section below. The setup is now complete. So let's now see our brand new in-dash GPS navigation in action. As expected, we have our search functionality in which we can enter addresses. You can define specific places such as your home and work for easy navigation. Once your destination is entered and you select Get Directions, you're presented with multiple routing options and you have the ability to choose whichever option you so desire. Once a route is selected, sygic dynamically identifies points of interest that are closest to your current location, including parking locations, gas stations, the list goes on. You also have the option to set the route parameters, such as avoiding highways, toll roads, ferries, etc. You can also configure what sygic announces. This ranges from the full voice instructions to the sound being completely off. There are several alert options available. You can be notified for speed cameras, speed limits, traffic notifications, railway crossings, etc. Also, notification sounds can be individually defined for the different alert options available. You can choose between the sounds that are provided by the sygic application, or you can define your own. You also have the ability in sygic to define notification triggers. And in the example of speed cameras, you are able to set the distance before reaching that camera that you want to be notified. In my case, I have set my alert to 300 meters before reaching the speed camera that I'm notified. For the speed limit, I have defined in sygic that if I'm exceeding the speed limit by 5 kilometers per hour in built-up areas, I want to be notified. Similarly, if I'm outside built-up areas, I want to be notified if I'm exceeding the speed limit by 10 kilometers per hour.
Make a U-turn if possible. After 200 meters, go straight ahead onto City Center Drive, then take the third left. Go straight ahead, then take the third left. Take the second left onto Square One Drive, then turn right. After 200 meters, turn right onto Ontario Street. Turn left onto Robert Speck PKY, then take the second right. Take the second right onto Ontario Street. Turn
I'm pretty sure the DEVSP error would have a different name for a different vehicle manufacturer, but essentially it would be the same thing. And also the button sequence that would be needed to
After
access that
200
menu to
meters, go
set that
straight
error
ahead onto
off
Ontario
would
Street.
also be somewhat different. So if you know what the error is called for different vehicle manufacturers
Go
out
straight
there, please let me know in the comments below. And also what would be the button sequence to access the menu to set that
Please
error
follow the
off.
route for 1.9 kilometers.
Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Safe travels.